name is Kata. Welcome to my making journey. I am filming from Valparaíso Trees in South America. Happy New Year! I hope you had a great end of your year and a good start to 2026. We've had a slow start. It's always like that after the craziness of New Year, which is good for us. Max is back in school in summer session, so I've been able to do a good amount of sewing. Tomorrow I have a wedding and I will be traveling to Santiago, and I don't have a garment bag to put the dress I made at the end of last year, the black and white that you see in the video where I show you everything I made in 2025. So I said, good moment to make a tutorial. Very simple bag. I normally use trash bags, which are not very durable, but they tend to do what they need to do every time I use them. But I wanted to make a bag to take it to Santiago, but also to store a fabulous coat that belonged to my great-grandma and that I have in my closet, but I feel like it should be protected a little bit better. We don't have the humidity problems that other coastal towns have, so all in all, Valparaiso is relatively dry. So I'm not worried about humidity, more just wear and tear, I guess. You know, it's from the 60s, so it's getting up there in terms of its age, and I just want to protect it. So for this project, I am going to recycle some of the canvas curtains that I took off the house, that I made for the house when we started 9 years ago, and that I changed for burlap curtains. You saw them during the tutorial that I made for the burlap curtains when I switched them. And so it's a lot of fabric. It's a white, no, it's not a white canvas. It's like a raw color canvas. And I decorated it using some block prints from India that I have, that I use as house decorations / materials for crafting when I decide to use them. And I'm going to show you how I printed the canvas in a little bit. For this, as I said, I normally use trash bags, so I'm going to use the measurements of the regular trash bag that I would normally use. And I'm just going to lengthen it a little bit more. And then you don't need a lot of materials. Some fabric, enough fabric for the length and the size you want. You may want to consider making it impermeable. I don't need it to be, so I'm not going to do that. Thread, a zipper as long as the garment bag that you want to make. And that's about it. In my case, I decorated it, so some fabric paint. Oh yeah, and of course, a sewing machine. So with no further ado, here's the tutorial. All right, so for the print itself, you need a soft surface underneath. I'm using my yoga mat. Your fabric, clean and relatively straight. Your block, I like this one. I have 3 different ones, but I'm going to use the fish. Your paint, this is a local fabric paint in gold. And then something to put the paint on and to roll it on the block. So I just like to use it this way instead of rolling it, because I feel like I waste less paint, but you can do it however you want. And then all you need to do is press firmly. And voila, ta-da! I think it looks so cute. So now I'm gonna fill the entire fabric with this fish. All right, everyone, so as you can see, I already did half of the front panel or the back panel, it doesn't matter. And now I'm gonna do the other side. I'm just gonna continue printing fish in any order I want, and then we're gonna let it dry and then sew the rest. This is enough for 2 garment bags that are 70 centimeters wide, which is about almost 28 inches. And I'm going to do a length of 120 centimeters, which is a little bit more than 47 inches. And that to fit the stuff I need it to fit. So the first thing we're going to do is cut those 2 rectangles. was the only zipper I was able to get. They sell it by the yard here in Valpo, and it was the closest color to the color scheme I have. I really don't care, it's barely seeable. It's sold by the yard, and then you buy the opener, closer, the puller, I think it's called, and the little metal stopper, which I haven't put yet, so I gotta make sure I don't open this and make a mess. So the canvas unravels really easily, so I'm going to zigzag it, but I'm going to do it with the zipper to bring those two together so that they don't move around. And it's going to start all the way up here and end about here. I'm putting it as high up as possible because this is going to go like that, right? And then when I seam this, I'm just going to, my idea is to sew it and then turn it around, kind of like a French seam. I'm gonna do a French seam type thing. So my idea is to sew it on the back and then turn it around and go over like that to make it look nice. So yeah, so I'm gonna leave about 1 inch to account for that folding that I'm gonna do. You could also just do a simple sewing and sew a simple seam and then iron it, but I'm going to do that second thread just to make it look nice. So I'm gonna pin it all the way down and take it from there.
And before we continue, these are my favorite trees of Valparaiso. I'll start with this beautiful Acer japonica from Casa California. She's been with us for about 2 years. This one's a gorgeous magnolia tree uphill. Unfortunately, it's not spring, so we can't appreciate it in its full majesty, but you can kind of tell what it looks like when it's all flowered. These guys here are kind of hidden. They're very, very old and tall avocado trees. They're not part of my list of favorites, but I noticed them while filming, and I just had to add them. These are the palm trees of Brazil Avenue at dawn. They cover a stretch 1 mile long and are absolutely gorgeous. This one is a wisteria tree close to our house. This one's white. It sits right next to a purple one that hadn't flowered at the time I took this video. Lastly, this is one of a couple of rubber trees over 100 years old in the city. I absolutely love this one. Look how gorgeous and majestic this is. All right, so when you're ready to sew, just change your foot, and in this case, that. All right, so now that we've sewn it, this is what it looks like on the back. I am going to zigzag, because I didn't do it before, I'm going to zigzag the zipper along with the fabric. And that way kill 2 birds with 1 stone by zigzagging the fabric that unravels, and at the same time making sure it stays fixed with the zipper and it doesn't bother anybody. All right, so after you zigzag both pieces together so that they are fixed like this and they don't unravel, I'm doing you can do a top stitch, that's what I'm doing right now. All right, so I'm done here with the zipper. It's a little bit pulled, but I don't care. And now I'm going to put the stopper. This is what they look like. It's just a little staple type thing and it has some teeth and hair. All you need to do is put it over the zipper like that, push it in, let the teeth out on the other side. All right, so you have the teeth there, and with pliers, all you need to do is bring them down like that. Both sides, and with that, the zipper shouldn't come off. I'm going to make sure this doesn't come off by adding a safety pin right here that will prevent the puller from pulling out. So
that's that, and now I am going to close this thing. This is a very fast, easy project. One thing that I forgot to do was close the bottom of this of the garment bag. So what I'm going to do is come on this side, and I'm just going to bring this in like that and sew these together like that, so that they are, so it looks like that on this side. This here is what it looks like. Not perfect, but good enough. And now we're ready to sew all the way around. All right, so now we are ready to assemble the bag. And make sure that I'm going to sew it right sides in, because I am going to, as I said, seam it, turn it around, and then do a little border. You could sew it right sides out and put bias binding like I did for the sleep sack tutorial. Up to you, doesn't matter. You could do neither and just seam it right sides in, and that's that. It doesn't really matter, it all depends how you want it to look. So I'm going to close it now. I'm just making sure I line it up properly. All right, so that it's lined up. The only thing I'm going to do right now is to mark a bit of a slope. This is going to be the top, right, of the bag, and I'm going to use a hanger. So I'm going to mark a bit of a slope of that hanger to cut it with that shape. So I'm just going to mark this ever so slightly like that, and slope all this way like that. And come this way and do the same. And just continue with that line. Now we're gonna pin and sew all the way around. All right, so we're pinned all around, and I just wanna make sure that this is symmetrical. So instead of following the line when I sew, I am going to cut here up to where this starts, and that way I know that they're gonna be symmetrical. Obviously leaving a seam allowance. The rest of the line I have already, so I can follow that without any problem. Oh, and then one more thing. One thing that I had mentioned before is that the zipper takes some of your width. So all I did was align that, and I'm just basically going to ignore about 1 inch and just cut that off. But maybe you want to consider that when you cut the top part and add an extra inch to that side. I still don't know how I'm gonna finish this, but I think my gut might be okay. I'm gonna start at the center with the seam and just go all around all the way here, and then I'm going to open them up. I'm assuming that since I have a zipper, it doesn't matter that I sew all the way here, the wire will stick out. So here we go. We'll see if this works. So one thing to remember, I already trimmed everything, is for sharp corners. Remember to come as close as possible to that vertex. And for curves, you can do this little triangular cutout. And that way when you turn it around, none of these vertexes and round areas will be tight. So this is what they look like finished. I'm really happy with how they turned out. The first one is a little bit square at the top, but I was able to correct that on the second one, and I definitely think that it looks better, although it doesn't really matter. This is what they look like in the back. Now they will be taking care of my clothes in the closet. This one is holding my great-grandma's coat, and I'm really happy that I can take care of it better than I have been so far. I really like this coat, it's so warm. I hope you liked the tutorial. I hope you found it useful. If you didn't like the video, I hope you like the next one. If you did like the video, I would really appreciate you hitting the like button. I have other tutorials in case you're interested, simple sewing things like curtains and pillowcases and things like that. And a couple of knitting tutorials, including a neck warmer, and I'm working on a sweater, a baby sweater, in the line of the neck warmer. I talk about it in the video of the summary of 2025. I've been working on this for a long time, so I'm hoping that I will have it done at some point this year. My name is Kata. Thank you so much for watching. This is my making journey.